Hello, welcome. Delighted that you're here. Each week you'll meet a lady who will be sharing her story with you, and the intention is that you will be entertained, motivated, and inspired to share yours. It's time for women to rise and stand in heart-centered leadership. Join with us and stay tuned. We don't disappoint. Cheers. Well, hello, and welcome to Leading Ladies, Leading Legacies. And tonight, my leading lady is one that I know you want to meet because we all have clutter in our mind, in our houses, in our cars, everywhere. There's a wee bit of it. And what we're working to do is to rid ourselves of that. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I am Joy Ruffin, your style and leadership coach. I work as a signature style specialist. Women hire me to amp up their wow factor. But tonight we're going to talk about all the things that you need to do to get yourself in line so that you can show up as your best self all the time. And our guest tonight is just full of all kinds of tips and tools and nuggets that are going to help us to do that. She's a lovely lady, and I want you to help me meet and greet her tonight. And I'm going to bring her up, and I'm going to say, Giselle, welcome. It's great to see you here.
It's so good to be here with you, Joy. Oh my goodness.
You know what, Giselle? I never say about all the issues we have coming aboard, and my co-pilot and I are putting together a new program where we're going to make sure that everybody comes in and they can breathe and take it easy and slow. It's taken me 100 years to get here, so I understand, but you look smashed, you're marvelous, and I'm just honored that
Thank
you're
you.
here. And your topic is just out of this world because I don't care how together one is, there's also the art of clutter and how we can become the masters of it. So tell us, how did you come to do the work that you're doing?
Oh my goodness, Joy. That is such a story. That this goes back to when I was a little girl. Okay.
Yes.
I'm telling you that if my mother were watching this right now, she'd be like, "What? Clutter coach? What do you mean? All this gray hair I got from this child? Oh no. She got it from me."
That's funny.
And that was the story. I was raised in a household where I never wanted for anything. My mother was a very hard worker. She stayed true to what was important to her, which was keeping a roof over our heads,
Yes.
keeping food in our bellies, keeping clothes on our backs, right? And she worked as a nurse. And when I was coming up, she was still doing shift work, right?
Yes.
So she was working these 12-hour shifts,
Yes.
really leaning into community to support, to help care for me. And I'm wondering if, being away from me, I was an only child as well. So I'm wondering,
I
and
didn't
I
know
can only
that.
speculate, right? Because I don't know for sure. But as a parent myself, I kind of go, I wonder if she gave me so much, so many things. Like when I tell you I had every Barbie, I had the Barbie camper, I had the Barbie Corvette, I, I had the very first desktop Apple computer, right? I had all the shoes, I had it all.
Well, Giselle, stop right there for a moment because you
Sure.
said something that I didn't get in your bio, and you and I, it's amazing to me, even in this day and time, how
Mhm.
like-minded souls align with one another. I didn't know you were an only child. I was not by any stretch of the imagination, but yet there's stories about only child, the only child.
Mhm.
They don't apply to you. So your mom and your dad, they gave you something extra. And the things that apply to that only child, they're not always negative, but you, I've discovered, you don't have any of those. So why and how did that come about, you think? I heard about your mother being the nurse. There's something about
Mhm.
nurses, teachers, and librarians that I just embrace.
Oh my
So
goodness.
your mom being a nurse just already warms my heart. But what do you think that she gave you that gave you this sense of community and sharing and giving and exchanging, which you're big about? You don't have to say it. I'll say it for you. I know it because I know how you support and help me.
Yeah.
What and how did that come about?
Well, let me just I'm going to get to that. But I also wanted to
Yes.
say, I think my mother gave me everything because she wasn't there as much. And again, I'm just speculating. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, the rest of our home was immaculately kept. My mother was an excellent housekeeper. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so everything had its place, everything was in its place. She would wake up in the morning, she would tidy up first thing, afternoon, evening. My room, on the other hand, You'd be lucky if there was a trail that led from the door to my bed. Things were everywhere. It's like
Yeah.
homework mixed in with food because I didn't want to tell her that I didn't eat my lunch, mixed in with shoes and just toys, all sorts, everything, right? But the one thing that, and so I say that because I just want you and your audience to understand that, you know, my journey with clutter has been lifelong, right? And it did
Ah,
start as a child. And so, you know, the thing that my mother gave me though, with respects to community, is I remember people would come over to the house when I was really little, and family members would come over too, but people would oftentimes bring they would lay their problems at my mom's feet. And I would oftentimes hear her on these calls, and she'd be like, let me tell you, I know exactly what you're going to do. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to do that. And she would go through and walk them through step by step. There was not a door that would be closed that my mother could not open. She would call the newspaper. She would call the ministry. She would call whoever she had to call to open that door for you. And I always, you know, really respected that about her. I saw the way that the community approached her
yes,
and
yes.
how they leaned into what she had to say and they took her instruction. And so I guess I, in a lot of ways, am my mother's daughter.
You are, and you could not have given us, you know, we all love stories, and you could not have given us a better little story about you, because what I know and what you know for sure is that family, community, relationships is everything. And that sterling example that your mom and your dad gave you, it's embedded in you, because I don't know you, but I know you, and I know how you came to support me, how you're just there and you're present. So I applaud you for that. Now, I love what you said about the trails from your room out to wherever, but so when did it come to you then that you needed to get better at managing your own clutter? Because I know that you have your business. So however you want to share that with us.
Well, that took a while, Miss Joy. That took years,
It
years
really, of course it
of
did.
resisting, you know, because there were these narratives that were kind of playing in the background. You know, when we have a lot of clutter, there's a lot of shame and stigma that comes along with it.
Absolutely.
And you know, I oftentimes would hear in my head, you know, when your friends find out about how cluttered you are, they're not going to want to be your friend anymore, you know. And so people would come over and I would stuff things inside of other rooms or inside of drawers. And one time my mother had come over. She stayed a little longer than maybe she should have, and it got quite late, and she was like, well, don't worry, I'll whip us up something. And she opened up the oven door, and I had my dishes stored in the oven door. And she was like, JC, she calls me Jason, she was like, JC, what is this? And I was like, oh, you know, Maytag, they started making these fridge slash dishwasher combos. And she was like, turn it on. I said, oh, it's on the fritz, it's on the
How
fritz.
old were you then? What age were you? Were you a teenager or?
Miss Joy, I was in my 20s, and I was a mother at that point, right? So I mean, raising children, and my house was, well, I can't really say that it wasn't ever like it was messy, it was unkempt, you know, and just a lot of things and not really knowing what to do with them, where to put
Ah,
them, how to organize them. And I wish I would have paid more attention when I was a kid with my mother, you know, in her
I
home.
hear you. I hear you loud and clear, and I'm hearing something else too. I'm empathic as well, and I know you are a hypnotherapist as well. Was it when you started the study of that that this what you do now came to you, that you had to get your everything more in line with uncluttering what was surrounding you, or did it come after the hypnotherapist work that you've been doing? How did that come about?
It came before. It came before,
Before, that's
Joy.
what I
It
thought. Yes.
did. In 2016, there was a traumatic loss in my family.
Uh-huh.
And not only did I lose my partner of 7 years within 6.5 weeks of his diagnosis, which was with
Oh my
cancer,
goodness. Mm.
I lost a significant portion of my friend base and my family base. And that really shook me because I was like, Lord, I don't understand what is going on here and why everything has to fall apart. And I was angry. I was really upset,
I'm
you know,
sure.
that
Yeah.
everything, that I felt like I was losing everything. Um, and during that time, that year, well, toward the end of that year, I ended up taking this program with a coach. And some of you listening may know Noel Walrand, but he has this program. And it was called, his business is My Dreams Work. And he's all about procrastination, beating procrastination and monetizing your dreams. And so I ended up taking this course because it was really all about mindset and shifting the mindset. And I knew I had to take it. So just as soon as I sat in his class, my hands started going and I was just scribing down all of this information. And Miss Joy, I didn't have anything at the time. I barely had $50 to my name. And I put that into this program. And one of the very first things that I committed to doing was clearing out my basement that I hadn't looked at in 8 long years. And so there it was. It was in going down and in facing all of my stuff.
My favorite word.
Pardon me?
My favorite word of late, I use it a lot, stuff, because it covers a wide range of territory, and especially what we're talking about tonight. I hear exactly what you're saying. You went into that basement after 8 years, and you could really see it then. Something had ignited here where you could see what was there. You'd seen it before, but you hadn't seen it the way it needed to be seen, right?
I hadn't felt it, and it was speaking to me. That's the other thing, is what I realized when I was going through my items. And this was before I became a professional cleaner and organizer. This was before I became a certified clutter coach. This was before becoming a hypnotherapist. The only thing I had under my belt at this point was 15 years working and volunteering within the social service sector. That was it, right? But when I went down into this basement and these inanimate objects were speaking to me, telling me, showing me parts of my life, of my entire journey through life, I realized that there was more than just kind of decluttering. It was really about the closure to those stories.
Beautifully explained and given to us, Giselle, for so many reasons, because clutter is all words are beautiful and wonderful and when they are relayed and connected to the person in the right way. But clutter, especially because of this pandemic and this really weird time we're all going through, what do you think might be one of the major causes, or let's give several, of why some of us have so much clutter in our lives? I'll speak to me. I have an office here that's beautifully designed, but there's stuff everywhere. I make the excuse that I'm creative and I'm all over the place. And it is an excuse because my husband comes in here and he says, "What is this?" Now, I know where everything is, and I know what you're going to say because I've heard it before. Slowly but surely, I'm clearing it up. But why is it? What is it that so many people get bogged down in the clutter? And I have a friend who's tuning in tonight who lives on a houseboat, and she says she needs this more than ever because she needs to know how to align and store things away so that she doesn't have clutter. So what are some of the main causes that we have clutter in our lives? Now, some of them we know, but it's always good to have them come back to us. Yes.
Well, I mean, there are so many things that I could get into here right now, but I think the gist of it is just this.
Yes.
And I'll use this as an analogy. So when we go out and we buy a shirt, right? We're excited. We got this shirt, and maybe we were out stress shopping because we had a really rough day and we think we deserve that shirt. And so we go out and we buy this shirt, and then we wear this shirt to an event. And now there's the story with this shirt. And maybe it becomes one of our favorite shirts. And so now we wear this shirt multiple times and the stories continue to build with this item.
Yeah.
At some point in time, just like a story, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. At some point in time, that story must come to an end. And I think that in our society, we're so accustomed to the beginning and the middle of the stories. We're not accustomed to the ending of stories and what it means to release something, right?
I love that.
It's a part of our natural being. We're cyclical. Life is cyclical.
Yes.
But we're also taught that the end of it is unnatural. And that's just not true.
I love what you're saying here, Giselle, for several reasons. But what comes to mind is that release and surrender, which is very difficult for so many people to do, which connects and ties into change, pivot, transformation, whatever verbiage you want to use. It's difficult because we hold on to stuff. Yes, for whatever the reasons might be. And those reasons are, from what you have found, some of them, I know you can't share all of them with us, but what are some of those reasons? Why do we? Because we are afraid of what will occur? Is it the fear factor?
There could be a number of things. Our clutter could be a form of security for us. And so, if we have a lot of things, then that tells us that we have a lot, right? It could also be that if we have a lot of things, our clutter is saying, look at me, I'm important, look at all of my things. It could also be that, and this is what I lean into a lot in my work, is that our clutter isn't necessarily us, but it tells our story. And when we're in the process of letting go of our clutter, we're also in the process of letting go of parts of ourselves.
I
And so
love
that work, that's why it's so important, and I can't stress this enough. We shouldn't just be getting rid of things,
Yes.
because then inadvertently we're also just getting rid of a part of ourselves. And I think it's so important to honor and respect the journey that we've had with our items, whether they're great journeys, whether they leave beautiful memories, or it's painful memories. Irregardless, it's a part of the journey, it's a part of who we are.
Giselle, I don't think I've ever heard it expressed as brilliantly as you just did, and so wise, so much wisdom in how you just shared with us that the clutter oftentimes might not be, and what it entails and what it means. That was just absolutely yummy, really, because clutter is, most people think of it as very, very negative, and it can be, but contingent upon so many variables, you have to weigh it for what it is. Tell us, what do you, when you're working with someone, we're going to take a quick break here in a moment. Where do you begin with the individual? These are basic elementary questions, but I never assume anything, and neither do you. I know not knowing. So, and I know it's always contingent upon the person. But where do you normally begin with someone to help them, support them, guide them to getting the best sense of structure, organization for them? Where do you begin? Contingent.
Yeah, it's really about getting to know them. I
Yeah.
ask a lot of questions around who they are, what their vision is, how they're utilizing the space, what's important to them. I feel like this is something that many of my coaches, but one in particular, taught me, was that if you don't have an end goal, it's kind of like, well, if you don't have an end goal, then really where are you going? Right? So let's create the vision and really understand how the space is going to be utilized. What do you want that space for? Why does it even matter to you to reclaim that space? What would it mean if you could reclaim that space? Who would benefit when you reclaim that space? So there are some really pivotal questions that we need to ask.
Oh, absolutely. When you go, and I know each client is different, but when you go in predominantly to work with someone, is it to restructure, reorganize, redesign their office space, their living space, a particular room? You start with one or a whole. How, I know it's contingent on the individual, but some examples of how you work so that we can get a better insight. Like, let's just say my friend who lives on the boat. Where do we begin to help her to get to be able to orchestrate the best way to keep her boat aligned with the order and cleanliness and neatness that she's in touch with or wants or desires? Where do you begin there?
Right. Well, I mean, for me, it's all about teaching the life skill, right? It's all about making sure that, I'm not going to come in, I'm not going to do it for you. We're going to start in an area that's super easy, something that's simple, that isn't going to, stress you out too much. For individuals who have a lot of clutter, I oftentimes will say, we can easily identify garbage and recycling. So let's get that out of there right off the bat. You know, my mother, and sometimes I do adopt this. My mother's strategy was working in the room from left to right, and she would work her way around the room. And sometimes that works for some people. For some people, it really does help to, pull out some boxes and start categorizing things,
Yes, 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 yes.
donations. But you might even want to just start like with like. If you have a table that's scattered with a whole bunch of objects, you might want to start grouping papers together, pens together. That's another way that you can start. So there are a multitude of ways to work with a variety of clients.
Listen, you're giving us lots of nuggets here. And let me tell you what, when it resonates with me, I know that people now in the replay will get this. What you just said is what I say to all of the women that I work with. because I have the information and the knowledge and the love, but I'm going to share and give it to you. It's up to you to utilize it. You said you do not do the work for them. You show, you explain, you tell, you structure it for them, and then the work we have to do. And I love that because too many times I think people want to take over and do the work. But in order to get anything orchestrated the way it's meant to be, you have to do the work. And that's a given. I'm going to take a quick little break. Stay in the green room. Don't go anywhere. Don't move. And I'll be right back. Okay. Thank you. It's delicious. Listen, can I tell you, or do I need to tell you how much I love and adore all of the men and women that I bring here because they come to share all of their knowledge, their wisdom, their information with you because it's bottom line business, but it's about doing it in a way and connecting with people that they can serve, that they can give their knowledge and their tools and their knowing about to someone else so they can utilize it as well because we're all here to be of service to others. So my event is over, but I'm having another one, and I just want you to jot down this date. I'll be coming to you every week going forward with the date. June 24th will be my next free workshop. But for now, I want you to pop in the comments style, STYLE, and your free complimentary brochure will be delivered to you. And do join my Leading Ladies Leaving Legacies Facebook group because that group, we will be meeting every third Thursday of the month. You'll be getting, because you'll be on the mailing list, and we do not inundate you with zillions of emails, but you'll be invited to come and join us. We're going to do it and create a room, and it's going to be like an open discussion. We're going to talk about everything that has to do with femininity and sexuality and sensuality and how you show up as your best self, casual, whatever level you want to take it to. And it's going to be fun because you know what? If we don't have fun, we don't stay around. So I'll look to see you there. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to join with our featured guest tonight because we want to hear more about clutter and how you came to do this. You shared with us, and I love the story about your mom and how she gave you. And you didn't mention dad, but I know dad's in the picture too. But this is a story because today, more than ever, Giselle, I think our young people need more parenting like you had. And even though mine was a little bit, the word back in the day was used dysfunctional, it gave me so much that when I got out into the real world, I discovered a lot of kids didn't get. So I was grateful. So now you are the clutter queen. This word queen is floating around. But you are.
No, Joy, no, I cannot take that crown. I actually work with a mentor. She's such a lovely woman. Her name is Gabby, and she is on Facebook the declutter queen. So I cannot take that title, unfortunately.
That is so indicative.
Thank you.
That is so indicative of the little that I know about you. Here you go edifying someone else, and you're absolutely proud to stand up and say, no, I can't, but I know someone who deserves that title. Bravo to you, because that's what we as women have to do more and more of, more and more about. Now, you're on the platform that we all love. We all love it. So tell us when the days, I should have asked you this, shoulda, woulda, coulda, because the days that you're there, we want people to come and join you in your group so that you get to know more about you and find out more about how you go about all the things that you do to help people declutter their environment, their minds, and everything else. Tell us about what you're doing there.
On the other platform.
On
yes.
Clubhouse.
Right, on Clubhouse. It is such a community on Clubhouse. I mean, I remember being here and looking for organizers, looking for them, and they were so far and few and in between. And, you know, when Clubhouse opened up, it just opened up this window to people who were organizing and decluttering all over the globe. And so I've been fortunate enough to meet some pretty incredible declutter or clutter coaches and professional organizers. And I very early on in my Clubhouse community, I met a woman named Monica Fay. And recently I just finished my 50th episode on a show that we were co-hosting together. It was called the Declutter Your Morning Show. It was a lovely, lovely run. And now I'm on at 3 p.m. Just, you know, things happen and sometimes you have to shift. But now I'm on at 3 p.m. And we're doing the Dear Clutter, because everyone has a story with clutter. Everyone has some sort of message.
I think
to
so.
clutter.
No question about it. In fact, that brings me to what you gave me here, and I wanted to ask you about this. You know, the time goes here so quickly.
I
You
know.
mentioned Trauma 4, and you spend your free time studying the psychology of clutter and alternative modalities of healing. Share
Yeah.
with us a little bit more about that, and about the four. You have four boys, I think.
I do. I do. I have 4 boys. I have a 21-year-old, a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 5-year-old. And so
We don't believe you, but anyway.
my 5-year-old keeps me busy, busy. Actually, my eldest and my youngest are both here right now. But the Dear Clutter show is on at 3 p.m. on Clubhouse. So you
Okay.
definitely don't want to miss that. And then on Sundays, we do another one. It's called The Art of Clutter Clearing, and it's all about
That yes.
intentionality.
Mhm.
And so what I've done as a declutter coach is I've studied clinical hypnotherapy. And I'm right now in the process of ascertaining my neurolinguistic practitioner certification and timeline therapy and Erickson hypnotherapy. So just really digging in that way to really study the subconscious mind and how we can, offer ourselves even suggestions that will help to reprogram, help to shift our mindset, truly. And so with the the art of clutter clearing on Sundays, we open up every Sunday with a meditation where people get to meet their clutter. And in that, all of the narratives come up. And then we jump on stage and we share in these beautiful community of supports, just incredible environments. And we discuss the narratives that come up. And then we actively replace them with something else. So we're all about solution. It's all solutions based. And we do decluttering at the same time. It's incredible.
And you know what else is incredible about it, Giselle? I mean, you already know this, but I'm saying it for those who come and will listen after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
You have this group of women who are more or less different avenues, different street lanes, intersections, highways, but doing more or less the same thing, connected with the right solutions, because everyone doesn't connect with everyone. So here you are, a group of women not competing, but completing one another and sharing and collaborating to bring together this message that's so much needed, especially.
And Joy, it's not just women. There are men too. There are so many men in our community. It is incredible. It's just people all coming together to, finally just bring up into the light this issue that we all have to work through.
And it's wonderful. And what you said,
really
it truly is. It sounds like a true blessing. And I have to get there because I haven't attended that one yet. But what you said is that in the end, between the meditation and everything else that you do, you come up with solutions. So people are getting so many gold and platinum nuggets from your clubhouse room. That's really
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Absolutely.
So that's how the modalities of healing comes in. And that's how you're incorporating what you're learning into what you're doing.
In part, I also studied aromatherapy, and I've also studied sound bath therapy as well. And so working with my clients one-on-one, sometimes we have to lean in a little bit more to maybe some sound, some sound bath therapy, or maybe some aromatherapy, or, add on a hypnotherapy session if we're really stuck. So it all came together.
Well, as quiet as it's kept, and it's not so quiet anymore, you truly are a Renaissance woman. I use that a lot for a lot of women who come here. But those who just continue the journey and keep going and sharing and giving and exchanging, I'm just blessed to have known and met so many. But let me say this to you, because, I have this, we all do. Behind you is, I think, a polar bear, right?
Yes.
Is there a significance there? Because I happen to love different animals and so on and so forth. Does he bring a special message to you in the work that you're doing?
Oh my goodness. So
I couldn't go without
I'll
asking.
never forget my late partner's father.
Yeah.
We went over to go visit. This was the first time I had ever met them. I was shaking like a leaf. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. My partner, with his humor, he was like, just push them over and run if you can't take it. They're like 90. I'm like, stop it. I would never do that. But we get up and we're meeting. So we met with them, and we ended up going up to the condo afterwards. And Papa says, I've got this box. I need you to come down and help me out with it with Paul. And so Paul goes downstairs, and we're thinking it's this massive box, and it's this tiny little box that containing this polar bear. And Paul's just there, like rolling his eyes, like, oh my goodness. Dad made him bring it up on this dolly, those hotel dollies.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
we made him like wheel it up, would not let him carry it. It was just so compassionate. But it reminds me of their relationship with their son, my partner. And unfortunately, they're all gone now. My partner and his parents. But it just reminds me of that love that they all have for one another, and it's family.
It never dies, love. And we all have something that reminds us. And something just had me come to you with it, because I love monkeys, and that's another snug. Giselle, it's been absolutely too short, because you are full of nuggets for us, and you shared a lot of good, really yummy information.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to leave us with? What impact, what words of wisdom, what jewels do you want to leave us with, so that we can walk away with something? Well, we have so much already, but anything at all, the floor is yours, and I'll be back in just a second. Whatever you want to share.
Yeah, I would say, when you are about to face your clutter, it can feel overwhelming, and
Yeah.
you might look at it and think to myself, oh my goodness, I don't know where to start. I don't know how I got here. Every time you declutter an item inside of your home, that's another opportunity for you to practice release. And so with every object, think of it as another opportunity to practice release. So be careful how you release those items. Let them go gently, and understand that they served a purpose. And the big question is, are they still serving you? And if they're not serving the visions that you have for yourself, the mission that you're on, you have my permission to let it go. Your items tell your story, but they don't say anything about who you are as a person.
Wow.
You're growing, and you're going to change, and you're going to become an incredible person. Allow that process to happen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was beautiful. I absolutely celebrate and commend the work that you're doing. It's so needed, and I will always be a supporter. I'm going to put you in the green room, say so long for now, and I'll be with you in a second if you can stay for a moment. Thank
This is Giselle, keeping it clean and clear. Thank you so much, Joy.
I love that. Thank you. My pleasure. Don't you love her ending? It's absolutely spectacular in so many ways. You know what? It's always a joy to be here with you. It's a pleasure to share all of these fantastic leading ladies with you, because they're on a mission to get their purpose and their calling, whatever that might be, out to share it with you. Bottom line business, but it's a business that serves you, and serves you in the best way. So please connect. I've been running across her name, her email, her website, and her number, and it'll be up and everywhere, but you'll be able to get it. And if you're doing the replay, make sure that you connect. The point is, we're all here to be of service to each other and to serve one another. No more competing, it's completing each other and collaborating, which is what Giselle spoke about with this fantastic group that she's aligned with. Also, remember to join me every Tuesday night and Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And I'm on the Clubhouse on Wednesday nights at 9 and Friday nights at 7. And all of that will be coming out to you when you join the Leading Ladies Leaving Legacies Facebook group, because you'll be getting an email telling you such. In the meantime, always good to be with you. Now, soon we'll be out of this, what I call madness, but it's a madness that's serving its purpose. Wear the mask, do what they say, be well, stay safe, and take care of you first so that you can look after others. Like Giselle's mother, who was a nurse. Don't we all love our nurses and our teachers and our librarians and all of these people who, and oh my goodness, I could go on and on. Great to be with you. Take care. Have a great weekend. And I'm sending you always much love and all the best. So long for now. Cheers. All righty, let's see. Here we go. If I can bring you up, done. Okay, let's bring you up.
Can I
Woohoo!
speak? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Who are you? Incredible.
Listen, you gave me such a scare, but here's what I'm doing, because I'm going to cut this out. I listen, thank you. And the feeling is mutual. I love this, and I love what I'm doing. And I want to take this and take it further and do much more with it. And I'm going to. This is like the embryo for what I want to do. But I love interviewing other people, putting them in the spotlight. But what I found, your section and your setup is pretty good, but a lot of people come and they pay me, Giselle, and they come and their lighting and their sound and their background is so you want a professional video, because what I want you to be able to do, this is my intention. And I was going to raise the price, but I'm keeping it here because I'm doing other things. I want you to be able to take this. I have a woman rather, who does this for me, and she's excellent. She gets your font, your colors, and whatever. She'll take this video with you and me, and then she'll, if you want, and we'll discuss that. She makes micro videos. She does snippets for the video. She does snippets for the audio, so that you can slip it into your website. You can put it on your in your emails to send out. You can put it on your social media groups. You can do whatever you want to. You can send it out with just say, here was an interview I did with the leading lady, and I tell you blah blah blah, and just a little snippet of something that you said, so they see what you're about. And then running across will be your website and your email and your number, whatever you want to put there. And you can look on LinkedIn or even my Facebook page, and you can see what she's doing. But she's good. If you don't know someone who can do that, she'll do it for you. We haven't talked about price points yet, because I'm going to get more and more people to do this. But what I find is that a lot of people come and they don't have the right setup. So I have aligned with this co-pilot, and I'm going to have people meet with her before to make sure that their lighting, their sound, and their setup is right, so that we don't have any issues with the sound and the lighting. You're fine. But
I was okay. Did I scare you?
Yes.
Were you like, oh my goodness, this child, what is going on? We have 2 minutes.
And I called command and I said, you know what? Sometimes you think people are more savvy than they really are, and then you say they come in at the last minute and they can't, because they've done Facebook Lives, they've done Zoom, but live streaming is totally alien, and the setup and the mic and everything else is just different. And a lot of people don't know how to do it, but obviously you've done it, and because your picture you're going to see is great. When you came in, you were very fuzzy, but now it's good, and the sound is good too. I'm getting a constant click. I don't know where the click is coming from, but it's okay. It's all right.
Okay. Well, we did something.
We did it.
And I just have to say, the way you interview, I've been interviewed by only like a few people, maybe about 5 or 6 interviews, right, in my career.
Okay.
But the way you interview, I just felt like I was sitting at home with you.
That's what I want.
Yes. Like we were just sitting at a table having lunch, and you were introducing me to someone. Like it felt so natural.
Oh, you know what? You warmed my heart from the moment I met you, and you reached out to help me with my, I'm not a techie. I fly by the seat of my pants, but I love what I do, and I like putting other people in the spotlight. I've had the spotlight all my life. It doesn't matter to me. And I don't say that with an attitude. I say it with love, because I love this, and I get better and better and better, and I still have a long way to go. But what you just said to me is my intention, because I tell people, especially when they're very nervous, that is just you and me having a conversation. And I don't have big numbers yet. That's coming though. And then it's going to go out, because there's a long lag between, I'm with this agency, and I only have 1 video a month that goes out to Spotify, Apple TV, Amazon, and I got a long list of people lined up. So for now, it's just my group and your group, but ultimately it goes out and it remains evergreen. Yes.
Joy, I want to bring you into a community.
Okay.
I want to bring you in. There's a woman who I work with. Her name is Chantel Simone. She works with Jada Pinkett Smith on Red Table Talks.
Yes.
Red Table Talk Heals.
Right.
So she has her own show under Jada's platform.
Okay.
And she right now is working on building up. Well, she's been working on this for a while. I used to work with them. I was one of the founding members.
Yes.
Had to go off and do the work here for clutter coaching. But she recently reached out to me and she said, Jay, we're going to need you back, because my community development work was around program development and program evaluation. That's really what I did. Okay. And so I've been helping them with their organizational structure. But ultimately what they're doing is they're taking women who are just like right there, like they are top, like these are top women. One of them is Les Brown's coach, Dr. Dentley.
I know Les Brown, but not his coach. Yes.
Right. So Les Brown's coach, Dr. Dentley, his wife, Cara Dentley, sits within this group. Like it's higher level women like yourself, right? Here's the thing. all of these women need resources. We all bring something to the table, right?
Yes.
We've all done something. Like I have a phenomenal guy. Wait till I'm going to show you. I'm going to send you
Okay.
one of the videos that we just shot here at the house, which is like introducing people to who I am as a coach.
Yes.
And there's some testimonials,
Yes.
things inside of it. It was expensive, but it was worth it.
Worth it.
Oh, it's
You
so
got the
good.
value. Yes.
It's so good. And so, you know, I have him as a resource. You are incredible at what you do. And for women who need to have this experience, who need to get out there, and then let's have them on your show. Let's bring their
These
network
are
to
the
your
people
show.
I'm looking for. And let me tell you, I have a couple of friends who charge $200-300, and I was gonna. It's not about the money because ultimately that will come. I have this agency. I have so many options for people. Once I want them to do the interview, enjoy the interview, get the video, and I give you the video and the audio, and you get the 2 posters, and then you can do if you're tech savvy and graphic savvy, you can slip out my picture site, change the dates and all that stuff and do your own thing, make it your own colors using it. But there's so much, but that's what I'm looking for. Women, because really, even though biz to biz is men and women, I only did that because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I'm looking to empower,
Women.
advocate, and champion women because
And this is the women's collabo. That's
yes,
what
yes.
this group is. Now
And
they are faith-based. They are like we open with prayer, we close with prayer. We got prayer.
Are you
Pardon me?
are you big into faith-based too?
I'm sorry.
Are you faith-based too? Very religious, or faith-based is a word that's used. What does it really mean? It means that you're tying in. What is it? I mean, I know and I don't know.
Faith to me means that you lead with Christ, right? So you're leading with the Word, and so a lot of your work centers around examples from the Bible.
Okay.
Right? Instruction from the Bible.
All right. I don't. Okay.
And so for me, I'm very new. Like I was not faith-based for my entire career. I actually just started reading the Bible. So I am so new. But I am a follower of Christ who also celebrates Hanukkah.
They say the louder you laugh, the truer it is. And let me tell you why I'm laughing. I grew up in a very, very strict Southern religious background, in the deep South. Mm-hmm. And I know, I'm sharing this with you. I don't, only my husband and you and a few other people have I shared this with. Only, and I saw and felt and sensed, because I'm very empathic and I couldn't embrace that as a young girl, that there was so much hypocritical stuff going on there. And I know that there's a higher power. I know that there's something. I don't know what it is, who it is. I think it's a she, but I don't say that out in public, you know. But when it comes to really strict faith-based, where there's everything God, and God, then I just disappear. Something doesn't resonate with me there. Yeah. I would never say it. I'd never demean or that's not me. But there are a couple of women that I've met with and I've interviewed, and one is on a platform now, the platform that we all love, Clubhouse, and she's always inviting me, and I don't go because I can't be a phony, and it's just something about the way that she speaks. I can't get there yet. Do you understand what I'm attempting to share?
I do. You know what? I'm going to send you an invite to the next collabo call. I would love for you to come on and just see, because a lot of the work that we do as well, like Chantel, she's a mindologist. So she's about, you know, subconscious mind, conscious mind, like, let's figure out what's going on there, which is not faith-based in a lot of ways, not in like a
I don't have anything against faith-based unless it's, you know, how can I say this? It's those who think, oh, when I say this, you gotta go deeper than what I'm saying. Those who think that God's gonna solve every problem. Yes, to an extent, but you got to do a lot of work in the meantime.
That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about, because faith without works is dead. You have to be active. You have to be moving. You can't sit back and be passive. He's not a passive God. He's an active God.
There you
know?
go.
So
there you go.
In that way, absolutely.
And what I just shared with you, I would not share with anybody else. I think maybe 2 other people outside of my husband, because I don't want to.
I already forgot what you said. I don't even remember what you just said.
I don't knock anybody. I interviewed a lady the other night, and she said everybody was telling her she shouldn't do this. I never tell anybody not to do anything. I support them in because we all make mistakes and have to get egg on our face, right? and boom, 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 and then you grow from that.
You
So
grow from that.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Giselle, I am so
I
honored and
love
happy
you.
that we're connected. I
Me
really
too.
am. The first day that I met you and you offered to help me, you went into my heart right then and there. You are a weird one as I am, but that's okay. We're not.
I
It's all right.
accept.
It's perfectly okay. But the point is, I'm always looking to collaborate and to connect with people, especially women who want to rise,
Yes.
soar.
Yeah.
I'm looking for eagles.
Yeah.
There are a lot of pigeons out here. Nothing wrong with being an eagle if you know that you're no better than the pigeon. You're just very different.
Yeah.
There's a
There's a
quality.
Bible verse that goes along with that. I won't believe it.
Tell me if you want to. But that said,
Feather my wings.
I'm open. I'm open to all of your introductions. I got an 8:30 call here, but thank you. I
I
love
love
you.
you.
I love you too. I will get you this video no later than Sunday night and the audio, and I'm sending to you via WeTransfer.
Okay.
It'll come to
Okay.
you, and I'll text you and email you before to let you know that I've downloaded and so on and so forth. Okay.
Okay.
In the
Sounds
meantime,
really good.
you can look at it on my Facebook business page. You can
I'm
go.
about to go look right now.
Okay. Ciao.
Bye,
Bye.
love.
Take care.
I don't know how to leave. You're gonna have to leave for
Okay,
me.
I'm gonna. Okay, you just go. Well, okay, leading ladies, leaving legacies, not ever goodbye. Why? Because it's our time. Join us as we move onward and upward in style. Connect with me on my website. I can't wait to meet you. Make it soon. Cheers.